The WNBA has a huge problem on its hands, and it is not the players this time. Multiple reports of referees sabotaging gameplay have emerged, and it is worse than it sounds. The referee was standing on the baseline. We know this because the footage shows exactly where she was positioned when Alyssa Thomas pushed her fist into Caitlin Clark's neck. Not across the court. Not blocked by other players. Standing right there with a direct line of sight, while Clark was on the ground and Thomas's fist was in her throat. And that official called nothing. Then the WNBA reviewed the play after the game and handed down a one-game suspension, which means the league itself confirmed a punishable act occurred that the official on the baseline failed to catch in real time. That is not an opinion. That is the WNBA's own retroactive ruling proving its own referee missed a call she was positioned perfectly to make. And then it gets worse, because this is not the only officiating decision surrounding Clark this season that has raised serious questions about consistency. The free throw disparity. The technical foul for clapping. The reckless closeout that got reviewed and still was not upgraded. Every single one of these decisions went against the most watched player in the league. And now, people are asking questions that the WNBA needs to answer. If you have been watching this season and you know exactly what has been building, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications right now, because what we are about to break down goes all the way to the top of this league. Let's start with the baseline official and the Thomas play, because the retroactive suspension is the smoking gun that everything else hangs on.
Okay, here it says, like referees in the 1940s roller derby league, the 34 official referees of the WNBA seem to exist to give an air of legitimacy to the infliction of violence. And we are seeing multi-million-dollar NBA players with eight-figure contracts getting arrested for betting and gambling and all of this stuff. Wrong. The identities are right here. We're going to be watching. We're going to be paying attention because a lot of y'all refs have put this bullseye on your own back. Y'all refused to. Y'all gave Caitlin Clark a tech, but then I watch Kayla McBride clapping you guys' face. No technical foul. I watched Paige Beckers just recently clap at you guys. Taunting opponent. No technical foul. None.
That last point is the one that cannot be explained away. Clark gets a technical foul for clapping her hands. She named the official who gave it to her. She went to the podium and dared the league to review it, and the league has not rescinded it. Meanwhile, Kayla McBride and Paige Beckers did similar things in similar moments, and nobody reached for a whistle. One player gets a technical for clapping. Others do not. The official standing on the baseline during the Thomas play does not call a fist to the neck. The league has to suspend Thomas retroactively because the call was not made in real time. These are not isolated bad calls. They form a pattern around one specific player, and patterns require explanations. Now let's talk about what the officials themselves said when Stephanie White confronted them about the Thomas play at halftime.
Mentioned talking to the officials at halftime and then I think two in the first quarter. Either way, what did they say? Did they offer any explanation or any guidance on their calls, lack of calls?
On the play specifically with Caitlin?
Yes.
They didn't see it.
They didn't see it. The official was on the baseline. The footage shows exactly where she was standing. Thomas's fist went into Clark's neck while Clark was on the ground. And the official didn't see it. That is the league's own explanation for why its most watched player absorbed what the WNBA itself later classified as a flagrant foul without getting a single call in real time. And then consider what happened in the same game after White reported this to officials at halftime. Indiana was assessed 11 fouls in the fourth quarter. Phoenix was assessed 2. The league's officiating environment after White flagged the missed call did not improve for Clark's team. It got worse. Now let's bring in the broader consistency picture, because the Thomas play is the most visible example, but it is far from the only one.
Are we've seen games where Caitlin Clark shoots 0 free throws, but we've seen games where Breanna Stewart and Asia Wilson will shoot 20 plus free throws in a game. Caitlin has had the most flagrant fouls committed against her out of all players since she has been in the league. And there's been so many uncalled ones. The W finally corrected one, and all of a sudden, it's a problem.
The most flagrant fouls committed against any player in the league since she entered it. That number exists because people have been tracking every play involving Clark since her rookie year. 0 free throws in games where she takes contact on virtually every possession. 20-plus free throw attempts for other stars in the same building on the same nights. The WNBA spent all offseason talking about freedom of movement as a point of emphasis. And the player absorbing the most physical play in the league is the one getting to the line the least. Stephanie White said it directly at her own press conference. Clark is not called the same way everybody else is called. That is the head coach of the Indiana Fever, saying publicly what the numbers confirm and what the footage shows. And then there is the question of what happens when you try to get the people responsible for protecting Clark to say something about any of this. Because this week, a credible mainstream journalist tried to get an answer and hit a wall that speaks louder than any statement could.
Okay, here it says, as controversy swirls over Alyssa Thomas' one-game suspension, I reached out to WNBA Executive Director Terry Jackson asking this: is it punishable for your fist in another player's throat or is it not? Players Union spokesman said the WNBA respectfully declines comment.
Respectfully declines comment. That is the Women's National Basketball Players Association, the union that exists to protect players, being asked a yes or no question. Is a fist to the throat punishable or not? And their answer is no comment. This is the same union that just secured a historic collective bargaining agreement. The same CBA that Dave Portnoy identified this week as something that exists because of Clark's arrival in this league. The union that benefits from Clark's presence, that negotiated better salaries because of the revenue Clark generates, that represents the players in a league that Clark transformed from 4,000 fans a game into must-see national television. That union will not say whether a fist to the throat should be punishable. Now let's put everything together, because each piece of this story connects to the next in a way that paints a picture the WNBA cannot keep ignoring. The official on the baseline does not call a fist to the neck. The officials at halftime tell White they didn't see it. The reckless closeout gets reviewed and is not upgraded. Clark gets a technical for clapping while other players do the same thing without consequence. Indiana gets 11 fourth-quarter fouls to Phoenix's 2 in the game where all of this happens. Clark leaves with a back injury expected to keep her out more than a week. The arena empties on Saturday when she doesn't play. Fans boycott. Ratings collapse. And the Players Union responds to a journalist asking whether a fist to the throat is punishable with a respectful decline to comment. The NBA has seen what happens when officiating integrity becomes a question. Tim Donaghy. Federal charges. A scandal that shook the league for years. The WNBA is not there. Nobody is saying its officials have done anything provably wrong. What people are saying, what the footage shows, what the numbers confirm, what Stephanie White said at a podium, what Dave Portnoy said on his podcast, what Sophie Cunningham said on her own podcast, is that the pattern of officiating decisions surrounding Caitlin Clark demands a serious, transparent, public explanation from the people running this league. And every time they get an opportunity to provide one, they either say they didn't see it, hand down a one-game suspension, or respectfully decline to comment. The WNBA is in trouble. Not because anyone has proven wrongdoing, because the questions being asked are ones the league refuses to answer. And the player at the center of all of it is sitting at home with a back injury, waiting to find out if the league she transformed is going to protect her when she comes back. What do you think? Does the WNBA have a serious officiating problem when it comes to Caitlin Clark? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications because we will have full coverage of Clark's return. We will see you in the next one.